operation. And a number of city police officers are out there in the streets of Monrovia. Monrovia, by the way, has a different look now. So we want to look at the significance of this particular exercise launched by the Monrovia City Corporation. Mr. Alpha G. Gray joins us for 1 hour to tell us more about the activities. You can also ask all of the critical questions you have for the Monrovia City. Keep them. But before that time, we have a lot of things to talk about. You know that today is the 15th day of July, and this is the day that the disbanded soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia promised to besiege the finance ministry. Call it on the line to tell us. Before that, all of that, and so we have a number of things to highlight. Thanks to WAEC Liberia, for the West African Examination Council Liberia, for considering the plea of our Muslim brothers and sisters who said, well, they're going to be celebrating is it Ibrahim Day on the 20th, so it's going to be really, really hard for them to sit for the WAEC. And WAEC, understanding diversity in religiosity, in our religious affiliation, said took into consideration that there's a need we make some adjustment in the timing. We'll be right back after this break. My name is Matthias Labindi.
Wake up, Mama Liberia. Wake up, Mama Liberia. Wake up, Mama Liberia. Wake up, Mama Liberia. Labirens, oh Labirens, oh Labirens, wake up. Labirens, oh Labirens, oh Labirens, wake up. Labirens, oh Labirens, oh Labirens, wake up in a break. Oh, wake up, oh, wake up and do something. Oh,
that's right. Only Liberians, all Liberians, let's try, let's wake up and do something. Listen, the information I have to share with you this morning, we have a lot of things on our plate this morning. And in fact, have you read an article written about President George Weah, his asset and everything, millions of dollars of properties that he has outside of Liberia? Have you read that article? Or you've not come across it? I have the detail. I'm certainly going to be telling you. So the question I want to ask you is that after reading that article, you'll be made now to think whether President George Weah has the country in his heart for good or for the wrong reason, or to please himself. If the country is in his heart, you know, to benefit everyone, or he has the country at heart to benefit himself and those who dance to his rhythm. Good morning. Welcome. This is Straight from the Heart and Sky, 107.1 here. We do not see individuals as our prime objective in discussing the issues. We look at the issues and we put Liberia on the table of discussion. If you feel offended, then we ask you where does your loyalty lie? So exactly this morning we hoping to have in the studio. Now hoping, of course, we've heard all of the arrangements. So we're going to be speaking with the Public Relations Officer of the Monrovia City Corporation, Mr. Alpha G. Gray joins us at that time. We again want to apologize to your viewers there, those of you who are experiencing some interruption in our internet, in our connectivity since yesterday. You people have been complaining about that. Well, that is completely beyond my control. You know, we deal with a GSM company, and that's why I said yesterday, Liberia does not have 4G or 3G. You know, so 4G cannot. You know, we mostly experience difficulties in connection. It happens to you as well, right? On your phone, sometimes you activate your data, you know, your data bundle, and you experience difficulty, you know, in connectivity. They too, that you know, remember now, it is a technological, you know, institution. So they experience difficulties, and we too need to understand that, yes, these people too experience these things. So yes, I hope that we can understand. You can bear with us, but you can follow us on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel. We've upgraded. In fact, we keep upgrading. Only we have better, I mean, very, 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 very good internet in Liberia. Still internet. I tell you, the services we want to provide for you here at Sky, you know, you cannot handle everything we have for you. But anyway, welcome. This is straight from the heart and sky, 107.1. A number of things. You know, there are many people, Muslims have called for holidays, right, in Liberia, about 3 holidays. That's the reason why many people are now going ahead to criticize Senator Edwin Mervyn Snow, who proposed to his colleagues that there is a need we place on the floor for discussion these three legislations. And he said he's going to sponsor them, he's going to push them to ensure that brothers and friends, that, well, you guys have to consider the fact that this man is a human. If you now start to attack him, he may just capitalize on the attack and say, well, I'm not going to go further for people that I'm pushing for and who do not see the need, who do not see the fact that I am sacrificing, I am pushing for something for them. Here are they, now they're attacking me. What bagging am I going to get from these people? If they should go on a rampage. So that's why I called on some of our Muslim friends. There's no need to attack, Senator Snow of Bomi County. Since you've realized that, well, maybe there's a little shift in everything. Oh wow, did we get a breakdown? Yeah, again in the internet. So sorry about that, folks. We're just certainly getting back on. The producers are working on that. It's really, really unfortunate on our part, right? Unfortunate. We experience that, and it makes us feel bad. Your viewers, you cannot get us at a certain point. It's unfortunate. Yes, we're getting back there. So I just try to say that. Are we back there? All right. So yeah, you can also use the YouTube as we're going to YouTube, Sky FM and TV Liberia. You're certainly going to be live. So, I'm making a point that, well, yes, maybe if you start to attack this man who's pushing this thing for you, you say, well, these people are attacking me. There's no need for me to push for them. So, and your advocacies, you are Muslim brothers and friends. You've not mentioned words in your advocacies, which is good. You talk about Liberia. Well, some people, I listen to some clergymen raising their voices loud, in a country talking about Muslims. Why should they talk about holiday? And one of the persons, well, should I say personally disappointed? Bishop Asewinga. The question I ask Christian clergies, why should you get yourself involved in a call coming from your fellow compatriots to their government? Asylum. Why do you think people leave the country and go to other countries to seek asylum, and other countries host them for some reasons, right? So some of the clergymen who really come and attack the Muslims who call for holidays, I wonder what kind of unifiers they are. How exactly do they unify their churches? How do they unify their congregation? How do they go about talking to their congregation about love, one another? How do you preach the Bible and you know that there's passages in the Bible that talk about showing love to your neighbor and all of that, and you consider Muslims as your as your neighbors, as your brothers and sisters, but yet as a Christian clergy, instead of listening, waiting to see what the government has to say about the issue of Muslim holidays, some of you are attacking the people. It doesn't just make sense. Yeah, but let's move on to the issue of the WAEC. So the Muslim students say, well, this thing is going to embarrass us, and this interreligious marriages is affecting everybody positively, right? So if you're talking against a group of people, you have to be careful. Some people even forget that maybe one of their sisters or brothers is married to a Muslim woman or a Muslim man, but yet you attack Muslims. It doesn't make sense at all. Okay, so apart from interreligious marriages, this word, why should we create unnecessary segregation among ourselves? The Muslims, they are seeking a holiday. If they get a holiday, what does that mean? It means you're not going to raise the money now to pay your children's school fees. You're not going to be a pastor anymore. What does it mean? Your members are going to leave the church to go to the mosque. So when the WAEC Liberia talked about administering WAEC, I've been receiving a lot of messages from a couple of Muslim friends and things. Luckily for us, we now have a statement from Mr. Dave Butto, who is the head of WAEC. Let's quickly listen to Dale George Botto, what he has to say about the issue of Muslim students who were seeking the need to ensure that their WAEC is administered at a time. The WAEC is administered at a time. They're not going to be celebrating a very, very responsible, not responsible there, inappropriate word, a very, very, remarkable, historic, and memorable day in their lives. So they pleaded with WAEC Liberia. So for me, before we play that clip, let's look at this particular plea coming from Muslim students to WAEC Liberia. And WAEC Liberia, considering the fact that our sole purpose is to educate students. It's not to segregate them. It's not to say you are Muslim. If you don't want to come to school, it's up to you. Stay home. So if WAEC Liberia through the Ministry of Education could jointly consider extending the time for the administering of WAEC in Liberia, right? Because majority of the Muslim students, most of our Muslim brothers and sisters were pleaded with them. If they could consider that, is it difficult to say that, okay, Muslims, you have 3 holidays in Liberia? Or is that going to prevent you from going to work? Or your argument is that we're going to have too many holidays in this country, too many holidays. Holiday, no holiday. We harbor and honor criminals in our churches. You pastors who condemn the Muslims who call for Muslim holiday. What is it not important? It's not even worthwhile to have Muslim holidays in Liberia than honoring criminals and giving them Father of the Year title in our churches? No, ask yourself the question. You took a corrupt man, a man who abused women in public. You took a man who stole millions of dollars from government. He's not going on any investigation. You know that he's guilty as charged. A few days ago, a clergyman, Bishop Clyde, by the president of Liberia, a clergyman, a Christian clergy. I've not heard any statement from the Liberia Council of Churches regarding that. Isn't it a shame on the part of the Liberia Council of Churches that you sat there and you saw a clergy taking public office? He's accused of corruption. You can't speak to that. But you have the energy to speak against something that will serve as a pedigree for you, to unify Liberians. One of the things that makes me happy is that when I speak this way, I feel comfortable. I feel good. It makes me feel relieved because I feel I don't owe you anything. What I owe is Liberia. You're a clergyman. Yeah, thank God for you. Preach, revive souls, win souls for Christ. Don't segregate God's people. Who told you that Muslims are not human beings? They're not created by God. And you clergymen, you're jumping and you're shouting over the place there. Don't give them holiday. WAEC Liberia consider extending the time. If you are a Christian clergy, you're angry with the fact that WAEC Liberia extended the time for Muslim students to be incorporated. Take your children from school and don't send them to school. I know that you're against Muslim holiday for true. Now, the question is, Matthias, are you in support of Muslim holidays in Liberia? That's not for me to say. Anything that will contribute to mutual existence, to proper coexistence in a society, I support it. Anyway, let's hear from WAEC boss now.
Consultations, facing the challenges associated with shifting the examination date, following given the fact that the following morning, July 26th, is Liberia's Independence Day celebration. And in the spirit of inclusiveness, the Secretary of the Memorial Office is pleased to announce that adjustments have been made in the July 19 to 23rd, 2021 National Examination timetable to accommodate the e-celebration on Tuesday, July 20, 2021 as follows. 1. The 10th graders will sit their examination on the school campuses on Monday, July 19, 2021 from 8:30 a.m. to 12 midday. They are doing 2 subjects, and the 2 subjects are objective papers. So they will sit their exam on the school campuses. The 10th graders will also answer the questions on the test in the questions booklet. 3. The 6th graders will sit for the 2 subjects which were previously scheduled for Tuesday, July 20 on Monday, July 19, 2021. That means there will be 2 different exams that will be given on Monday, July 19. The 3rd graders will sit there from 8:30 to 12 midday. The 6th graders will sit there from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on that same morning. The 6th graders will be doing 2 subjects, and the 2 subjects are objective papers. The issue involving the celebration of Eid on Tuesday, July 20, we decided to merge the first day of the 6th grade assembly, that of the 3rd grade assembly. On Tuesday, July 2020, able candidates who are sitting these examinations celebrate the Abraham Day along with their families and friends. The normal timetable for the subjects scheduled for Wednesday, July 21, 2021 for the 6th grade exam is not changed. It remains unchanged. And the normal timetable for the 9th grade exam is not being affected by this adjustment. The Secretariat also wishes to inform the public that its online platform for the 3rd grade and 9th grade examinations is being upgraded to a bigger and more robust one. And as such, it is not yet available to the public.
All right, so there you have it. Now you've heard it from the house's mouth. You've heard it from the WAEC boss, and I know I can just sense the excitement, in Ayuba Soiree. My, this Muslim brother who advocates a lot for Muslim holidays. I can just sense, the excitement from several other Muslim brothers and friends, in and out of Liberia who have their family members, their young brothers and sisters going to school and fighting to ensure that they get educated. And with these kind of adjustment made in the timing of the WAEC, is something worth commending. So yes, let's thank. I said, if you are a Christian clergy who has issue area, not WAEC Liberia alone, who has issue with Muslim getting a holiday here, then I think you just about this time you should be really, really annoyed. We will not go to school because we infringe on the rights of our children. It is really, really contradictory on the part of you Christian clergies who come up to preach the word of God, and yet you preach division. There's a shame on your part. Leave talking against Muslim holidays in this country. Let's move on to another development. At this point, we're going to be calling now Captain Jerry Colley briefly. We want to know from Captain Colley. Jerry Colley is the chair of the disbanded soldiers. He said the unconstitutional disbanded soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia. So Captain Colley is going to be telling us about their plan, peaceful assembly, their plan, peaceful gathering today at the Ministry of Finance. He said today they're going to be gathering there to ensure that they ask the government of Liberia to pay them 5 months arrears, before the July 26th. In fact, they want that money today. So how many of them are coming? You want to know the number of people coming, how prepared at the Liberia National Police, if there is any need for them to come and prevent the people from assembling, because we're talking about COVID-19 now. So people are not assembling like that. But again, if it would be a contradiction to talk about COVID-19 and people are not assembling, if we look at the manner in which the government is even relocating the people of Gorbachev market to the other market, Ominga market. So even that, the government did not even observe social distancing. People were not everyone, were masked up, or everyone was masked up over there in Gorbachev market. So the disbanded soldiers, their assembly today, their peaceful assembly today, what do you think is going to be? We have Captain Jerry Colley on the line. Captain, it's a pleasure this morning joining us on Straight from the Heart. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ira.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Captain Colley, where are we? Are your men ready? You think is the message resonating with your people? Are they going to come out in their numbers today?
Well, we expecting them to come to assemble at the finance ministry peacefully in demand of our 5 months salary. We are not demonstrating. We are soldiers. It's like we are not being treated fairly. That's why we are assembling before the finance ministry. But Matthias, I have been getting intelligence from the security sector that have been listed with one of my colleagues. If the men assemble finance ministry.
Captain Colley, that doesn't sound to me like a real intelligence. It sounds to me like, something created by you, something crafted by you to send to the public, because it sounds like a scary assertion on your part.
Listen to me.
Wow.
I speak to you from my office. On Kerry Street. I'm not afraid. I speak for the people. I'm not a criminal. I have asked the Liberia Police director. Inspector Patrick Sulu to provide necessary protection for us. I asked the American embassy to send observer. I've been doing all this through the media. I speak to you from my office. If I Sam Monrovia, you say assign scale tactics. But this is a reality. And the only reason why I come on the air to say this is that the joint security meeting here last night, and that's what put on the table. You know, Mataya, who got all soldiers in
Is a joint security meeting held last night. Were you invited in the meeting, or is just something you got an intel?
I was not invited in the media. I got an intel, and this misinformation of disrupting government functions and activities have been disseminated by me, Alexander Jr. And there, he said, well, Captain Collins, when you come up today, you're going to feel the full weight. We're shooting at sight. And besides, if the PSU come, they can't make it. Men will come from the BDC barrack to come and repair the situations. But we are not off of our limb. We're calling on all the citizens, the stakeholder, the community, the Christian community, the students, the civil society to intervene. We are Liberian. We have been crying for the salary. Our children need to eat on the independent day of our country. We are not violent set of people. I told the people of Liberia, the honor my watch, would not want to see the soldiers protesting. We engage government diplomatically, but we know, somebody who says something, you deploy them. And like Janako tells the people, you cannot print a single check. Anything we want to do, we do it. That's inciting the soldiers against the state government. And we will not go that route. We are also getting intel that some Zogo were being given, and cash to come and behave like to come and behave like the soldiers, so that they can call chaos for the body give you. We know all of our soldiers. By the Liberia National Police, we are not responsible. We know our soldiers. We have told them we're coming to assemble to hold the flyer in your hand, the poster sheet. We're writing on it. Don't worry, are we not Liberian? Are we not entitled? We have not served this country. Our children need to go to school. We need our salary. Those things are on the poster sheet.
So Captain Colley, let me quickly ask you this question. After all of these things you've explained about, threats are planned, some intel you've gotten about plans for you to be shot on sight by some soldiers, or maybe whatever security service or individual that's going to shoot you according to your intelligence, attack against you that's going to be reportedly launched by some war people, engineered by some other people. You accuse Alexander Gio as well. So are you people still going to assemble despite all of these?
Yeah, we are. We're going to observe the social distancing a little bit. We are going to abide by the health protocol by wearing nose masks. All the soldiers will get nose masks and stand peacefully. Even if the security can barricade the finance, whatsoever the staff will start right there, or our flyers will want our salary. That's what we mean.
You are ready to you are ready to face everything today.
If they give us all our salary, we're ready. Anything that happens.
I mean, when I say ready to face everything, despite the intel you are getting, you aren't afraid of the fact that you could be killed in the process, according to what you said.
No problem. When my man assemble, I will come there. I will call you. I will talk to the media. The reason we are there, and come back to my office, because I got people who are operating. I got operating the battalion commander. Some are there. The Doyen will be there. A lot of the watch commander will be there, and I'll sit down right here. If the government want to arrest me, I will submit to arrest and go and facing the weight of everything that come out from there.
Captain Colley, honestly, objectively, let me put it to you, this is going to be a test of your leadership ability. So if you backpedal, or sorry to say, if you push it forward about this particular thing, many people may just interpret you differently, given the fact that you have some political alignment with the People's Liberation Party and all of that, going to fuel a number of negative analysis against the unconstitutional ministry today.
We will go there. We will go there. Look, let me tell you something, Some stakeholder may play a call to me when I was getting ready to come to Red Light and promise to come to my office. I don't mean any harm for the Liberian people, or I believe in peace to demonstrate commitment to the peace process. And we should not be dragging the People Liberation Party into this just thing. From 2006, I've been the spokesperson, I've been on the air, I've been seeing the benefit of the soldiers, I read and what have you. And governments were cooperating, paying us. They are making the power of paying us. This time around, the reason why we have not been getting paid, this information has not been disseminated. They said they were going by metric, ID card, and we said we were not going to be part of the process because it was fraudulent. We wrote the defense minister about it. I'm not saying we want to cause chaos for this government or the people of Liberia. Let me be clear on that. So even if we sit here and we see stakeholder come to say, hey, look, we can go to the president and discuss the issue with the president of the payment before the July 26th. We still want to dialogue to see the people getting their salary. Demonstration in the form of manner that will disrupt government function. We are not in support of that, and we can never be in support of that. Okay. Let me be clear with that. So this is not a violent thing we're doing. We're calling the attentions of other people so that they can talk to government to pay our we are Liberian. Just so we can get food on the table for the children on the Independent Day. Then somebody buying favor from the government. We are not buying favor. We are Liberian. This is our entitlement. That's what we're saying. No, pay the soldier in the eyes of the disbanded soldier, pay master, we don't have a problem. Look, we sit down here, we are creative. We're doing some one or two things, talking to people to be helping us pay our rent. We'll be writing to the international community. There was a reason one day to hear our cry. So the issue of violence, we are not part and we can never be a part. Okay, thank you so much. It's Captain Jerry. Disbanded soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia. A planned protest today, not protest, peaceful assembly, according to them, for their money. Let me see. You need to Major Alexander Gio. Anyone who knows Major Alexander Gio, please inform him that Matthias doesn't call people abruptly on the radio except for a very, very, very urgent reason. This is my first time, by the way, doing this. I usually like to, make you aware to know that where I'm going to speak with you briefly before I put you on. So I hope when he picks up, he's not going to. Mayor Gio, I'm talking to you off the air now, but I'm on the mic. You're not on the radio. I kindly need to speak with you for 1 minute on the air because Captain Jerry Colley has just made an allegation against you regarding today's assembly. Would you mind going on the mic, please? So do you want to go on the mic to respond to that? I wouldn't mind asking you, please. You're not on the air. I'm on the air now, please. Captain Colley just alleged that you are also working with some individuals secretly to ensure that Captain Colley, can be getting rid of today when they all assemble at the finance ministry in demand of their salaries, and you are the deputy director for operation at the Veteran Bureau. I just want to get the position of the Veteran Bureau also about this particular assembly today. Can we go on the mic now? I already have on the line Major Alexander Gio. Major Alexander Gio is a deputy for operations at the deputy for administration. Administration. Yeah, deputy for administration at the Veteran Bureau of Veteran Affairs. Mayor Gio, what is the position of the Veteran Bureau on today's gathering planned by the unconstitutional disbanded soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia?
All right, and I just want to make it crystal clear that no, they are not informed with this policy of the government. They direct deposit. People are putting in every day at the Veteran Bureau, even at the Barclay Training Center. I will spend over 4 months doing the process. So all those people that went to their favorite process, selected their favorite banks, their money are gradually going into their account. When you say allow now, go to the actual and on Wojanga Co, he will tell you. The go in the account, you will not know that the money going in the account. Problem. And this is the matter. And now the Federal Bureau is there to cater to all ex-soldier. All ex-soldier. And many of the ex-soldier, from Kerry Street there, who are disbanded, and whatsoever they call it, but they have been documented that everybody now are veteran. Only the Veteran Bureau, with Jerry Colley signatory to this thing, and many of them they are signatory to this thing.
So how much money are we talking about that these people are receiving in their accounts? Those ones that have agreed to work with some banking institutions.
Okay. The salary there is 7,000 LD.
7,000 Liberian dollars monthly.
Yeah, monthly. So,
and it is getting to them uninterruptedly, right?
Yes. So the controller general is disbursing 4 months. We're gonna do 2 months. So the July and August will be what sent again in August. So how the payment been simultaneously going through. So for today, and the demonstration, like what I said, nobody should go on the street, nobody should follow Jerry Colley. Your money will be sent before the 26th.
Now we're getting some information, some intel that you are planning, along with some other security personnel whose names are not mentioned in the allegation levied by Captain Jerry Colley, that Captain Jerry Colley will be shot on site today should he appear with some ex-soldiers at the finance ministry. What's your take on that?
Let me tell you, I had a clean sheet to my military career, to my administrative military career.
You mean to? Anyway, I don't want to get into investigating you now, but anyway, go ahead, make a point.
Yeah, I had a clean sheet from the military background. What I'm trying to say, and I would not look at someone to say, "Yeah, you shoot this man," because what a man done, what a man did, you ought to be investigated. So I won. My hands clean. One day I never go to battlefront. All my administrative job is adjutant.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Mayor Gio,
I am not part of life, but far beyond my thinking.
Mayor Gio, lastly, sir, most of the things that Captain Jerry Colley and his likes are calling for are things you advocated for yesterday. What has changed? Is it because you now have an appointed position by the government from the president?
It made me laugh, my brother. Let me tell you one thing. Once we work hard with clear mind, God will bless you. This position
and in that Captain Jerry Colley is now working hard with clear mind.
No. Jerry Colley, let me tell you one thing. Jerry Colley, he don't know he left and right. I mean left and right because he is not static. When he ready, he talks so. The man tell his support what to Daniel Cassette. The man when he say inform, the man did a lot of things. Yeah. Why he coming back in the street?
So does that take him from the fact? Does that erase the fact that he's an ex-soldier and he needs benefits? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
because
benefit when you come, you get it. Then the president get ready to settle the soldier. He will get a benefit.
Sorry. I didn't get that part. The day the president gets ready to settle the soldiers. So which soldiers are you paying now to the banks?
To the bank now, that a retired soldier. They will retire. In a demo.
So meaning now you're saying the disbanded soldiers are not attended to. That's the point, right?
No, the disbanded soldier. What I'm saying, they were documented, no more disbanded.
Sir.
Controlling. Listen to me.
Yeah.
This is why the office of controlling attend the office over. That Daniel Casa get them money. They want to pay for the office. What he said yesterday.
Yeah, I know that. I know that for a fact. So you mean to say that the entire this whole nomenclature of disbanded soldiers should be dissolved and everyone should go under retired soldiers? But another point that Captain Colley is pushing is that you people, some of his men and many other ex-soldiers in this country were dishonorably disbanded. They were not retired. They were not properly honorably retired. What do you make of that? How do someone go to someone who dishonorably treated them?
Okay. I think that question will go to Barney Samuka and will go to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Okay, for me, that question, I know my very self. I went to the Katamasa and received $2,000 and I was placed on pension. And when you place on pension, any other thing behind the pension, you need to talk about it. And what we're talking, and what we're talking about the part 12 year with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Barney Samuka say, when you get the people, son, you settle, then you open the war and the city hall. So all of these things who came by the new government just came to power. You got to get the government change.
Okay.
For 12 years.
Okay.
The government proposition before the government going to start it bit by bit. And you know the economic system now. So everybody got to get a government change. So this is what the leadership was placed in the place, and the veteran bureau is responsible now. In the sense, Jerry Colley is to the direct supervision of the pension should be under the Bureau of Veterans.
Mayor Gio,
the president came on, okay. I mean, the defense minister came on, file the president, and the woman do direct deposit because I don't want to continue doing check on the fee.
Mayor Gia,
because it's all.
Mayor Gia, thanks so much. I hope to have you and the director of that Veteran Bureau here someday. There are some specific questions you need to answer. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, and then to close, I'm my close-up statement now.
Go ahead.
Okay, my close-up statement, yeah. Everybody should not be afraid. Only thing when you do wrong in this country, the same message you want to point bang. You got to leave all the kind of tricks and artifice. Let go labor first. Then they come to the bureau. The Minister of Defense has tried his best, trying to make sure that everybody come to the bureau. So everybody not going to that meeting for more than 10, 15, 20 times. Everybody is aware of it. So you got some document, they work in the signature. Everything put together is on the president there, on Minister desk. So the president is going to look into it. Okay, commander time is the time. The president time is the time. He's the commander in chief.
Okay.
He's doing ready. Okay, I will settle the people that said. So everybody make sure you come to the bureau. If you know you're on pension, come and do your process. Beneficiaries are doing the process. Everybody are going to go to the bank.
Okay.
So you feel that will print check? No way. Everybody will go to the bank, come and do your process. That's the government policy we are acting on.
Okay, thank you so much. It's Major Alexander Gier. He's the Deputy for Administration of the Bureau of Veteran Affairs of the Armed Forces of Liberia. This thing has become more complicated to me than it was. By the way, let's have a conversation now. Call us in the numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can to participate on the program this morning. If you're there watching us also online, you can call us on WhatsApp on 0777, or better still, you can call us on Messenger on Sky Liberia program to participate. If you're also watching, maybe you don't want to make a phone call, you can drop your comment for you. Let's hear from this person. Good morning. All right. Those are the numbers there. Call us in the numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223, 0777 221 223, 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program. From you, call us on those numbers. Let's have a conversation. Today is the 15th day of July, and this day is the day that the disbanded soldiers are planning to besiege the Ministry of Finance. You just listen to both parties. Let's hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, Mr. Harris. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the recognition. David E. Harris from Camp.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, Matthias, thank you for all of your analysis on issues. But I would like to say kudos to YS Bureau for extending the time of the wire for our Muslims to celebrate the Abraham Day. The next issue has to do with the banner soldiers. I think Matthias, he had the right to establish. I'm calling on Captain Jerry calling his men when they establish should be peaceful and observe all of the health protocols. They are Liberians too. They work throughout the years and they need their peace. They need their salaries and their benefits for their children. Thank you this morning.
Thanks for the contribution as well on the program, Mr. Harris. You two can do the same. Call us in the numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us and to participate on Straight from the Heart this morning. Today is the 15th day of July 2021. My name is Matthias. I know you cannot wait to hear the details about President Weah's asset, his riches, and all of that. I know that's why you want to hear much, but I, certainly going to do that. But till now, let's have a conversation on the issues that we've highlighted. Call us on those numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us and to participate. You can also watch us live on YouTube, Sky FM and Liberia TV. Sky FM and TV, Liberia. Quickly, let's read a few comments here. Franklin Kona Ware says, interesting discussion and program. Thank you, Franklin. Simon Josiah, the government took the right decision because Muslims are Liberians like any other, so they deserve it. Of course. Musa Kona says, thanks, my brother. I'll always be following the show. All right. You too can do the same. Follow us or drop your comments. We'll read them out for you. I better say participate by calling us on the numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223. I know some of you feeling bad that, well, we keep watching and every time we come back, we struggle to watch you, Matthias, but the network keeps giving us problem and you now just you feel really bad and just walk away. Yeah, I know how that feels, right? But it's not really our fault. This is a serious, network issue in Liberia that we're faced with. Liberia does not have a 4G, and that's something I can debate with people. Do we have 4G? How strong is 4G? Other countries are upgrading to 5G, and so while we stay here talking about 4G, which is not really strong, Yeah, but better still, let's hear you. Call us in the numbers 07777 107 077 221 223 are the numbers you can call us in to participate. There's this question some people have been asking, who is considered as Mr. Apology in Liberia? Now, many people are now referring to Mr. Darius DeLong, Senator of Montserrat County of the CPP, as Mr. Apology. This guy apologizes a lot, but he does not have the moral to resign. The real man who demonstrates morality is the man who errs. In fact, even like Kimaya, yeah, if Africa, maybe our country, Liberia, have we built a foundation? Have we built a nation on a foundation of integrity, of morality, where people would be more interested about family name, their name, and so on, not earning money and living with both face shame and facing and looking at shame in the face and quickly, adjusting to whatever shame that the public may bring against them. They just live with them and feel comfortable. One would have thought that Kemaya would say, Mr. President, I beg you. This lady worked with me at that UN office in America, right? So she's making these allegations. I would like to clear my name. I don't want to go for confirmation. I just want to clear my name. He didn't do that. So no one expects Darius DeLong to resign his post simply because someone says, well, he's apologizing. And he has apologized more than 5 times. The last time he threatened to stone at the president's comfort, he apologized. He received $15K. Unbeknownst to his constituency, he apologized. $10,000, he apologized. $18K, he apologized. Business class, he apologized. And someone said he's a pathological liar. But in all these apologies, what many people think in a man, expect from a man who claims to have morality above other people in the legislature, he should be writing his resignation letter, resigning from that position as Senator of Montserrat County. That man will be the true light. He's even going to shine from a distance, that his light is going to shine. He will be outside of the Senate now and be criticizing and raising serious concerns. He's going to be the biggest newsmaker in the country. But I challenge you, I dare you, man. Darius DeLong would never do that. He'd never going to consider resigning, because that's never an option of an African leader or African politicians, by the way. That is never an option of African politicians, when it comes to issue of walking away and considering the fact that, well, because I'm in this place and these kind of things are coming up about me, the only thing I can do right now is to resign. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning. Good morning. Never going to consider resigning because. Good morning. Let's hear you. Aaron Tamba, speak up a little bit. You need to speak up. You're coming in really thin. Guys, I don't know what's happening back there. Some people are sending me messages. They're not going through the line. I don't know what's going on. Oh, my God. Yeah, that is really bad. We can't keep you on, brother. I'm so sorry. I know you want to make your point, but the audience need to hear you. I better hear you, so I don't know what's going on. So I just have to maybe, subsequently announce an alternative line, because I don't know what's happening with the lines over there. Call us in the numbers 0777 107 0777 221 223. The numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. You're listening to Straight from the Heart on Sky. We have just 3 minutes to go on this first segment of the program. Let's try this other person. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Johnson Gibson.
Go ahead, Johnson.
One of the soldiers that were demola.
Okay.
You see, this particular group that are talking, the army have been, the former soldiers have been divided. They had demo soldier and they got the old soldier that on payroll. They getting checked and we're not getting nothing. We're nothing. After the South Support Battalion. But we're trying to tell the people that if the government continue to pay these particular people, because they're only talking about themselves, we the 1990 soldiers that defend the country, the executive marshal, Ken Shoffley, and the BDC Barry White, no, how they call it, Prince Johnson, or the NPF are not able to capture this area. We are not getting no benefit. But they on the street every day going embarrass government. They say they want pay. But we the 1990, we are trying to get ready too. If the government pay the people, they will pay our people because we are not on pension. So that was on my mind this morning.
Okay. Anyway, it's not about what's on your mind, by the way. That comes on 50-50. We've highlighted issues, but that's what you want to talk about. It still suffices. Let's hear from this other person. Call us on the numbers 0777 0277 the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program. This morning, you're listening to Straight from the Heart on Sky 107.1. We highlighted a number of issues on the program this morning. You know, you're thinking about, well, Matthias, when are you going to come up with that particular article? Yes, I'm certainly going to read that article. You know, looking at the arrangement with the Moribeh City Corporation. Let's hear from this last person on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Matthias. My name is Jerry Jabato, and I joined the conversation from the Hotel Africa Room.
Jerry, go ahead.
Matthias, let me firstly say thank you to the government for the adjustment as it relates to wire. The next issue had to do with our disbanded soldier. The first thing all of them need to do before shifting blame on government, they need to organize themselves well. Because I listened to Jerry Colley and I listened to the mayor. I think it is fair enough for them to be placed on a retirement soldier than for them to be going with the nomenclature disbanded soldier. So I think all of them need to come in a closer to put together, go with the regulation that the government trying to put in place if they want anything. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the contribution. So the time is 8 o'clock. Let's join the Voice of America for 5 minutes of news. You're listening to Straight from the Heart on Sky 107.1. I'm Matthias Labindi.
Undergoing treatment for obstructed intestines. President Bolsonaro was flown to Sao Paulo from the capital, Brasilia, late Wednesday night. His office said he had initially sought treatment for a chronic case of hiccups that had persisted for several days. The president was transferred to the hospital on the advice of the surgeon who operated on Bolsonaro when he suffered a near-fatal abdominal stab wound during his 2018 campaign. China search and rescue teams are trying to help 14 construction workers trapped by a flood in a tunnel being built in the southern part of the country. The Emergency Management Department in the city of Zhuhai said the cause of the flood is under investigation. Command center has been set up, and the rescue teams were mobilized from several agencies. The United States will support an inclusive, credible Haitian government. Laura Lockman, the State Department's acting Deputy Assistant Director of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs, told VOA Wednesday the United States is encouraging Haitian political leaders, civil society, and private sector to find a political solution that will lead to presidential and legislative elections in the Caribbean island nation later this year. Following last week's assassination of President Jovenel Moise, a commission made up of representatives of all sectors of Haitian society planned to meet later today to sign a political accord that will name
Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. In a pray. Oh, wake up and do something. Like we try to settle things the way we used to be. Maybe it's all we need in our love and control. Mama, L.I.B.
Wake up, my people, can't you hear the song? You've been sleeping so long. No time for guns, no time to do wrong. Say the war is gone. My people, be strong.
Like we wake up, oh, wake up and do something. Like we try to settle things the way we used to be. Maybe it's all we need in our love and control. Mama, L.I.B.
Wokama, wina moto mwaka. Wokama, muna moto mwaka. Unkanu, unyamano. Wokama, Salune, Labire, Abore, Guinea. Wokama, man, give me a man, from man, Wokama, man. Hey, Wokama, hey, Mandingo, Bola, man, Wokama. Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. In a pray. Oh, Liberia, wake up, oh, wake up and do something. Oh, Mama Liberia.
Oh, yes. Yeah. D12 on the beat. I'm a duck. Hey, I'm a duck. Yes, why? I'm a duck. Say I'm a duck. I'm a duck. I know you're fighting for me now, yes. And you putting all the chicken into Sheena, yes. Can you see it's working for my good, yes. Everything is working for my good, yes. It's working for my good, yes. Even though I walk through the fire, yes, I will fear no evil, yes. Cause I know it's working for my good, yes. Can't you see it's turning around for my good? Yes, I know it's working for my good, yes. Say, I'm a duck, yes, why, yes, why. Come on now. Dance to the music, summer. Dance to the music, summer. Dance to the music now. Yeah, listen. Just wanna say thank you. Thank you for the song you gave them to me. Thank you. Thank you for the joy you gave them to me. Oh, thank you now, thank you now, thank you now. Just wanna say thank you. Thank you for the victory and the song. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my. Thank you for my peace. Thank you for the joy. Thank you so much. We celebrate. Come on, y'all. Oh, 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 hey, everybody, come on.
And that's right, Aho Amutoke, and that's it's a very good Liberian song there. But Derendale, Derendale is a Liberian artist who experienced that difficulty at that time with the generator. David is doing well now. He's in the gospel music, and his voice, his melodious tongue continues to appease many souls, both home and abroad. Good morning. You're listening to Straight from the Heart on Sky 107.1. Where is a normal thing in Liberia. Things are very quick to become normal. Yes, but so we are still expecting Mr. Alpha G Gray. Alpha G Gray is our guest this time. But quickly, let me move on to this article. So I'm reading exactly as it's written in the RFR, Africa, right? Radio France International. And this one is this particular article is written about Liberia's President George Manneh Weah. Quickly, I want to go on to it. The caption is Liberia. George Weah's property empire fuels distrust over asset declaration. Criticism by Liberia's opposition and investigative reports into alleged corruption over George Weah's assets have dogged him since he became president in 2018. The question is, has the Ballon d'Or winner misused his office to enrich himself? That's what the news outlet is asking. Or is he simply a wealthy ex-football star investing in his country? Can you answer these questions? Now, listen to the two questions first asked in the first paragraph of this particular article. It says, has the Ballon d'Or winner misused his office to enrich himself? Or is he simply a wealthy ex-football star investing in his country? RFI investigates the allegations and looks at new evidence. Evidence against the president for enriching himself. New evidence gathered by RFI. Let's go. It says here, all right, now this is the paper is quoting someone. It says, this government has spent the last 3 years on an undeserved holiday, building massive mansions around Monrovia, having endless parties, says Menepake Domoy, Vice Richards, a political activist group. This RFI is quoting Menepake. Weah's assets in Liberia and the US are widely reported and indeed have been declared in submissions to electoral authorities when he stood for the presidency in 2005, then for 2014 polls making him senator for Montserrat County. Let's see the declaration he made in 2005 and 2014. Although no declaration has been made public since he came to power in 2017, Liberian authorities say a declaration has been submitted to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, and there is no legal requirement for this to be published. So this has not been published, and Liberians know that, well, the president has declared his asset. All right. I'm looking at satellite imagery showing land purportedly owned by We Are having been extensively developed since February 2018 and today. It says CC Google Earth. Declaring his assets is required by law. That has not happened, at least in the level of detail that is required, says Alexander Cummins, head of the Collaborating Political Parties Opposition Coalition, making the case for transparency. You haven't reached the meat of the article yet? Hold on. He continues, he said, it's a fact that the president has acquired properties, has built properties since becoming president. So there are all of these allegations of corruption of unjustifiable wealth being acquired at comments, according to RFI. Let's now move on to property portfolio. In Florida, We Are owns real estate worth 1.4 million plus a residence valued at 0.9 million in Florida, according to the 2014 disclosure form seen by RFI in 2014 when he declared. So in Liberia, he possesses 2 residences in the Sinclair and Pennsville neighborhoods of Monrovia. Nash Street, of course, as you know, in Pennsville. In addition to WIA's declaration in 2014, 2 other properties in Montserrat County are commonly referred to as owned by the president. At Jamaica Resort in Thinkers Village and land in Baptist Seminary community of the Robertsville Highway, the road linking the capital to the international airport. And there's a pictorial of the entrance to George Weah's Jamaica Resort along the Roberts International Airport Highway. As these were not listed in 2014, presumably either whether Weah had not purchased them. In 2014, these things were not listed. That's why the article is analyzing now. These things were not listed in his 2014 declaration. Presumably, the paper is presuming that either Weah had not purchased them yet, or they are owned by someone else. RFI asked the Land Authority, the Liberia Land Authority, how to conduct a research in the land registry, a map recording plots of land to look at title deeds, but was given conflicting information on procedures. The procedures provided by the Land Authority, which the RFI did not indicate here, according to the article, the writer of the article, that were completely conflicting information on procedures. Some rumors claimed Weah owns more than the 4 properties outlined by RFI, but there appears little to back up these assertions, although we cannot completely dispel them. The land purportedly owned by Weah in the Baptist Seminary community boasts the most significant construction with 17 apartment buildings, a church, theater with recording studio, plus a building handed over to the Female Journalists Association. All of the construction work took place in 2018. That was when he was president. So the question is, how come he didn't bother about all these things then? That was in 2014, the declaration was made, but in 2018, more properties have been added. There is this pictorial also before me of how walls and barbed wire provide security for a complex of 17 apartment buildings constructed in the Baptist Seminary community. The photo credit is RFI. RFI came and took the photo herself. Let's go further. Weah's beneficial interest, Pocket Clone Gilade Family Fellowship Church, where he has preached, and Unification Theater of Acts, thought to be where he records music, is not clear, and how construction was funded is unknown. All of these 2 properties talking about the Pocket Clone Church, Family Fellowship Church, as well as the Unification Theater, all this construction, how they were funded, the paper says unknown. No significant construction work has been undertaken at his residence in Pennsville or at Jamaica Resort. His other residence in Sinclair neighborhood, closer to the capital Monrovia, was considerably redeveloped in 2018. By the way, RFI, let me inform you, the development process of that property did not complete in 2018. It's still going on right now, with swimming pool added at the rear. Yeah. So a pictorial, first of the old Now Street residence, now of the new Now Street residence. You need to see the new one. Nevertheless, the redevelopment in Sincor and extensive construction in the Baptist Seminary community have nothing to do with Weah's role as president, according to the ruling party, saying such projects started well before he was inaugurated. Well before he was inaugurated. Let's go further. The multimillionaire footballer, George Weah, is a wealthy man, and he didn't earn his wealth from the public sector. He played football proudly, says Moba Molu, chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change, CDC party. Then, the 54-year-old's assets abroad are more clearly defined with publicly available documents in the US, casting light on his property in Florida and New York. You're about to get the shocker. Weah and his wife, Claudia, bought a house in the gated Pembroke Falls community, north of Miami, for $374,900 in 2004, according to records from Broward County. That was 2004, a long time ago, prior to Weah coming to politics in Liberia. The Weah family previously owned a house in the nearby town of Davie, which sold in 2011 for $740,000. It had 2 mortgages secured against it. Another property in Plantation in the same Miami area was bought in 2002 and sold 11 years later. Supermarket and soul food. A commercial property near Fort Lauderdale. So some of the properties were being sold. Whatever reason behind the sale of the properties, imagine in 2011, a property was sold for $740,000. In 2004, the family bought a property in 2004 for $374,900 in 2004. That was in a Broward County, Pembroke Falls community. And in 2011, the family sold a property in a nearby town of Davie, and this property was sold for $740,000. Let's go further. In the same Miami area was bought there's a property was also bought in Plantation in the same Miami area, was bought in 2002 and sold 11 years later. In 2002, so count from 2002, a property was bought in the Miami area and the property was sold 11 years. So from 2002, 11 years after, you tell exactly where that is, how long that has been. Supermarket and soul food. A commercial property near Fort Lauderdale, cited in George Weah's asset declaration, has a title deed in the name of Claudia. A commercial property near Fort Lauderdale, cited in George Weah's asset declaration, has a title deed in the name of Claudia and currently appears to be rented to a car garage specializing in customization and alloy wheels. This property is in his wife's name. Now you may argue, why is it in his wife's name? That's his wife. The property belonged to a couple, not an individual. The building, bought in 2002 for $460,000 with a mortgage, had a zoning agreement for it to be used as grocery store or delicatessen. However, Claudia was cited in 2004. So this property was bought in 2002 for $460,000 with a mortgage by a zoning agreement for it to be used as a grocery store, right? And then Madam Weah was cited in 2004 with non-compliance in 2004 prior to the election. Even though in 2004, according to the article, in 2004, there were some sales made as well. So let's go back. In 2004, they sold a property enough of Miami for $374,000 in 2004. In the same 2004, Madam Weah was also cited with non-compliance of city ordinance for vacant or abandoned real estate. City ordinance for vacant and abandoned real estate. So they abandoned that property at that time in 2004. Whatever happened? Let's go further. In May 2005, she took out a loan worth $100,000. A loan? Really? Weir's wife? In 2005, during the election, she took out a loan worth $100,000 from Associated Grocers of Florida for the Business Flavors Supermarket and Deck Center, of which George Weah was a director. The address listed for this company was their property, but the supermarket business was dissolved by state authorities in 2006 for not filing an annual report. The supermarket, let's go back. The address listed for this company was their property, but the supermarket business was dissolved by state authorities in 2006. That was after the election in 2005 for not filing an annual report of their business. The property was in 2009 leased to a company running a restaurant specializing in southern U.S. cruising. But just a year later, Jamaican-born Clark Weah started eviction proceedings, saying the tenant had not paid rent. Guess what happened? The tenant, that was in 2009, right? So what happened? The tenant, 4J's Florida Holding Corporation, argued that Weah had not fixed a leaking roof. Clark Weah, the wife of President Weah, and Mr. Weah himself, President Weah, at that time, they gave the property out for lease, and they then started an eviction proceedings against the tenants. But guess what? Just like Liberian landlords, they give you the property to rent, they give you their house, they say fix it when you move inside, we'll take it from the rent. Sometimes if you move in fact, you pay, say everything is fixed. You move in, the house is leaking, they don't want to fix it. So that Liberianness was taken to the US as well, where President Weah and his wife rent a property without even, considering the fact that people are there and the roof is leaking, they need to fix it. So the tenant also raised issue against them that we've been living here, you never bothered to fix the roof. The court ruled in Clark Weah's favor and ordered the tenant evicted. They left. Let's go further. Clark Weah appears to manage the building. Her name appears on property tax records and was fined once in 2011 and later in 2018 for breaking Broward County local regulations. She also filed a notice to repair the roof in 2003. This particular property in question, say, I beg you, yes, something that they should know, or everyone expect that they know already, but later filed a notice to repair the roof in 2013 after an eviction proceeding, launched against the tenants in 2009. But in 2011, she was also on record, was fined once in 2011 and later in 2018 for breaking Broward County local regulations. It's not Liberia, it's not like where, people just do things without law. So imagine President Weah and his wife went through all these things, these processes in the US, gave the property out for rent, and they didn't focus on even fixing it. That was a breach of that particular county law. Liberia's First Lady plays a role in her husband's presidency, and during the first 3 years has been allocated $0.5 million for humanitarian outreach, according to the government's budget for 2017-2018. Let's move further. Now I'm also looking at a pictorial of the Fokeklon Dilare Family Fellowship Church in the Baptist Seminary community area. The Big Apple. Let's go on. What is the Big Apple? The Weahs have interest in New York City, and Clark Weah rented commercial space in the Jamaica neighborhood, signing a lease agreement in December 2011. The contract ran until 2016, but she vacated the premises in 2012, breaking the conditions of the lease. What happened? She was taken to court and ordered to pay $15,000 in damages to the landlord. Clark Weah argued that her attempts to use the property for a restaurant business were thwarted, but the judge ruled in the landlord's favor. Lost another case. First, a case was ruled in her favor, and this time around, they just ruled in the landlord's favor. Let's go further. Her name also appears on a mortgage for closure in 1998 of a residential property in the Queens borough of New York. Then George Weah himself signed over his power of attorney in 2005 to Markel Duncan, Claire Weah's brother, before the same property was sold to Amelia Duncan Fagon, and Orvin Fagon, perhaps again related to Claire's family. Her maiden name was Duncan before she married Weah. George Weah had a property in Staten Island, which he sold in 2005, and another in the Queens neighborhood with ownership transferred from his football agent Alaji Sidibe to him in 1993 while he played at Paris Saint-Germain. This last property is currently the subject of court proceedings for unpaid property tax bills of more than 10,000 as of September 2020. Several summons have been served on the address. Of course, you can summon our president now because he's refused to pay taxes. Well, this country, yes, he runs a country that most of the people rob government of taxes. So I'm not surprised. Weah's other bruise with the U.S. legal system came in 2016 when Mape Gono Clay, a former minister who was dismissed from Salih's government, filed a case against him in the state of Georgia for failure to pay child support, forcing him to make monthly payments. The lawsuit emerged during his presidential campaign. Bring it on. Another subtopic. The former footballer is still loved by many in France who call him Mr. George, and he reportedly holds French citizenship. He started a business called Weah Sports with his former press agent Caroline Angelini in 2014, with each holding 50% of the shares. The company based in the town, I got to get back to this one. Bring it on. The former footballer is still loved by many in France who called him Mr. George, and he reportedly holds French citizenship. He started a business called Weah Sports with his former press agent, Caroline Angelini, in 2014, with each holding 50% of the shares. There's a photograph here before me of Weah Sports. The company, based in the town of Passy-sur-Eure, Normandy, sold sporting apparel, promising to be a new brand targeted above the African and European markets with the slogan, "Bring it on." The store opened to fanfare with media coverage, but ultimately failed and went through a judicial liquidation proceeding in 2015 before being struck off the company register in 2019. Weah Sports did not make it into Weah's asset declaration in 2014, probably owing to the timing. My God. Asset declarations that have been revealed do not immediately suggest any wrongdoing. Questions remain regarding the ownership of 2 additional properties in Liberia, including one extensively developed. Let's look at this. The law does not provide that the president publish his asset declaration in a newspaper, says Nathaniel McGill, Minister of State for the presidency. The law provides that he submitted his asset declaration to the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, which he's done. His assets and those of his wife in the US and France tell the story of failed businesses and several legal cases, and perhaps a certain complacency in the management of his family's affairs. Other Liberian politicians. Let's go further. Liberia's former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf published her assets and has several interests in the country. She had bowed to pressure to make public her assets and called on other members of the government to do the same. Few members of Liberia's legislature filed their assets with the corruption watchdog, according to an according to an analysis published by the LACC in March 2020, compliance was noted for the executive branch and judicial branch of government, but not the legislative body, in a project funded by the EU. Besides the Liberian president's presidential property, Weah's use of a private jet owned by Burkinabe Mohamedou Bonkonko has also drawn the ire of commentators questioning a conflict of interests and its links to the businessman. Bonkonko. Here is a photograph of President Weah, and Mr. Weah arrives in Wakaduku to meet President Mark Christian Kabore. A private jet owned by Bonkonko is pictured in the background. This 13 September 2019. Photo credit AFP. All right. The president uses a Dassault Falcon 900X jet registered in France to Bonkonko's company Ibomaf, a pan-African construction firm that has branched out from construction into insurance, banking, and air transport. Weah is regularly seen arriving on the jet for state trips. This jet is a big jet, 900X jet registered in France to Bonkonko's company. This company is called Ibomaf. I know, but now you will quickly retrospect about the Ibomaf and Eton loans that the government of Liberia entered into, and right now the legislature is still calling on the government to nullify that. At the same time, the Falcon's jet owner, Bonkonko, entered into an agreement with the Liberian government in 2019 for a $30 million investment into a milling plant to process wheat into flour. Ibomaf also signed a $420 million financing deal with the government to fund road building. This news outlet is really investigative. Criticism from the International Monetary Fund over a lack of transparency in the finance agreement encouraged the government to cancel the big road building deal, saying it will seek finance elsewhere for its infrastructure agenda. The terms of President Weah's foreign travel arrangements are not public, but he spent $776,000 on foreign travel transportation, according to the 2018-2019 budget, compared to $804,000 for Salus in 2015-2016. So this man spent $776,000 for foreign travel transportation. That's according to the 2018-2019 budget. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was spending $804,000, for Salus. That was in 2015-2016. Carrying out construction works at his properties is by no means illegal, and there is no suggestion that Weah is linked to corruption. His affairs outside of Liberia do seem to be a bit of a spider's web of mortgages and legal action. Should construction work stop? Let's go on with the article. Interesting, isn't it? Are you saying he should stop a continuation of a project that he started only because he's now president? Asked CDC party head Moba Molu. Of course not. He answers rhetorically, dismissing inquiries about how construction works were funded and exactly which properties the president owns. He has investments everywhere, whether in Florida, whether in Ghana, whether in Liberia. He has substantial infrastructure leverage. Adds Molu. Weah attracted transfer fees worth $16 million during his football career, according to the Transfer Market website. Opposition politicians cannot point to specific illicit profits from property, instead suggesting the key is transparency, and lack of it is detrimental to the development of Liberia. Let's go further. No foreign investor will bring significant investment into a country where the leadership cannot explain the use of its own resources, says opposition leader comments. Championships of transparency would urge making it easier for Liberians to research title deeds, as well as forcing asset declarations by all politicians. Publishing that declaration remains opposed by many in power, and the government has no legal obligation thus far to make it public. But keeping the status quo can only continue to fuel speculation and distrust. So, with all these details, well, quickly, unfortunately, the young man Alpha G. Gray from the Morocco City Corporation, he's not come yet. We've not heard from him yet. It's already 39 minutes into the time, so we have 20 minutes to go on this program. So usually sometime when I talk about these things, it's very important for us to, all of us, play. I called Mr. Gray, by the way, at around 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. He said he was on his way. He's not here yet. We invited the MCC to basically explain to us about the ongoing, exercise that the MCC is carrying out in the country, extending all the way to Pittsville, demolishing market, tables as well, and clearing the street, which is not giving the streets of Monrovia a different look. So, unfortunately, the communication person is yet to come here to explain to us. So maybe he may not make it because already 20 minutes late. No, bro. Sorry, Mr. Gray. In timing, now, Mr. Gray, now I'm just receiving a text message from Mr. Alpha G. Gray just now at 40 minutes, 8:40. Alpha Gray says he's here. I'm taking a break to be right back, but we're not going to go on with the interview with Mr. Alpha Gray's 20 minutes late. He's not 20 minutes, he's 40 minutes late. You're listening to Straight from the Heart on Sky 107.1. We'll be right back.
They trying to track me down. For what? I don't know. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. You know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Joe Rastafari, King Selassie. Big up, oh, Mr. Liar, man. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. You know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Oh, liar, man, you know. Liar, man, you know. I didn't do those things. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. I know I didn't do those things. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Mr. Liar, man. Rastafari, no. I didn't do. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. You know, you know, you know, you know. A liar, man. A liar, man. A liar, man. A liar, man. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. You know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Rastafari. King Selassie. Big up. I didn't do it. Liar, man. Let I judge you. Liar, man. I didn't do it. Liar, man. Let I judge you. So what you keep lying? Lie, 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 lie. You lie, you lie, you lie. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. I say you lie, you lie. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Mr. Liar, man. Hey, oh, Mr. Liar, man. You know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar, man. Jano, Jano, Jano. Rastafari, no. I am man. I didn't do it. I am man. Let I judge you. I am man.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. In this case, I am not a liar, man. What I'm doing right now is that I'm just reading through a very rich investigative article written by RFR. RFR is what? Radio France International. So this article, by the way, is backdated. Backdated, by the way. I'm just saying it was not written tomorrow. It's not written yesterday. But it's written the 23rd of January 2021. And so I, just going back to it to reflect. Now, the question I want to ask is that a President Weah and his wife, were unable to properly manage their businesses, to make their businesses to survive prior to them coming to office. How would the people of Liberia sit down and say, this man, yes, is sincerely worthy? Imagine setting up properties, getting to mortgages, breaching of other cities' laws and things, going to court, losing cases, getting into debts and so and all of that, child support and all of these things. Now getting significant, portion of his asset outside of Liberia. The few properties that were listed in, among these properties that President Weah owns, Clon Church, his house in Pinsville, the one on the Now Street, and the 17, condominiums. The condominiums is built there on the Robertsfield Highway, and maybe the other property that is at the Christian Seminary, Baptist Seminary, not Christian, but Baptist Seminary. So all these things here, going through these things, that's why sometimes we talk about asset declaration, and then the president comes by to say, if I declare my asset, I have my family, I have everyone to protect. If Liberia, if we all consider this place to be, a knowledge-based country, I think the real protest or real agitation of the people of the 14 counties that elected this man should be, sir, listen, we are asking you to unconditionally publish your asset. Like you listen, as I read through the article, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she was pressured. She was made to bow to pressure to ensure that her asset was published in dailies in his town, and we read through. Sadly, George Weah said, well, I'm going to protect Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Whether he's emulating her examples that she set up yesterday, thereby sitting there on her watchful eyes, letting NOCAR to go bankrupt, and George Weah, coming back, launching, a quote-unquote investigation into NOCAR, but yet not coming up with anything, taking any action against anyone. Today, you have someone is prosecutor, Brownie Samuka, and the government receive a portion or paid a portion of the money spent by the service administration. That's what I said to the president. We have an opportunity. There's an opportunity presented to you by the people of Lofa County. Give Brownie Samuka the chance to sit down on a seat as senator of Lofa County. The people say to you, they have three things on their table: the health issue, the road issue, and their son's representation, or the representation of the people of Lofa County, that they need Samuka to take a seat. If we cannot prosecute anyone for the bankruptcy of NOCAR under George Weah's administration, of all these things I've read, with all these failures, and mind you now, George Weah is not the worst failure in the world. One of the politicians in America that failed many times is Abraham Lincoln. I'm told he failed about 15 times. He did business. He failed in business like more than 5 times. Contested for governor, he failed. Senatorial position, he failed. And finally, he became president. Many people felt that he was just born to be a failure. This man taught himself law. So yes, people can navigate through these things. But if they get a certain level, you see their style of their life, their style of living. Till today, you talk about agitators. Now you go back to the youth wing of the CDC. You say people are living lavishly. The president drives a private jet. He rides a private jet around here. He travels around the world with a private jet owned by a businessman whom he was pushing his interest to ensure that he gets some agreement, some business agreement with the government of Liberia. Kudos to the Liberian legislature that said, well, because a friend said, my man, let me boost your morale. The president said, he came out at the time and said, well, listen, I just want to boost my morale and thing. That's the reason why I got this private jet. Boost your morale? Boost your morale just because you want to you are president. We elected you. I was saying now the other day, I have a lot of mothers, traveling with private jet. I said, well, I don't know, You ask the president, I don't know, the president is traveling with a private jet, the reason best known to himself. He said, okay. She said, okay. But then, should that be his worry to travel out of the country? I said, no. When the president is elected, everything about that president, the entire existence of that person depends on the government, depends on the people, the state. That's the reason why we pay taxes to take care of that person in office. President Weah has more asset outside of the country than, what even we're talking about here now in Liberia. But again, this too is Liberia. Advocates, agitators who say the other person is living lavishly, young people, most of the folks in the CDC. I think for me, my understanding of this whole party politics thing is that when someone is selected amongst many people within the party to head the party to election, that person gets elected. I think the party can to some extent play an independent posture to ensure that that person becomes a better leader. The party should not be a praise singing group of people just because it is their turn. Just because it is their turn. So it is very, very important for us to look at these things as we've highlighted them. It gets more asset outside of the country, failures in a lot of businesses, taking money, selling properties, all the properties are sold. So now the question goes to mobile model. If you say President we are worth, 84 million at the time, as many of you were parading with it in 2005, 84 million. If we go back to 2005 and compare President Weah's photos, 2005 and now, and 84 million man, a man who worked 84 million, and the man who's now president of Liberia, you see there's a very huge difference. That this guy appears more comfortable right now than when he had 84 million, quote unquote 84 million, as insinuated by his supporters. And this in-depth article detailing all of the missteps along the way by President Weah is completely unfortunate, for our country, Liberia. Now, someone is asking me to share the link of this particular story. All right. So yes, certainly, bro. I'm going to share the link. I'm going to share the link on the on the page. I'll do that for you. Someone said thanks for making my day. Emmanuel Wajilo Kofa said thanks for making my day, blood. Thanks a lot, buddy. This thing is about Liberia. It's not about President Weah. He's going to be president. His president is going to leave office and go. This man did not even take street light to Grand Crew County. So many things, the deceptive analysis we can make sometime when we sit down, we ask ourselves, man, this guy worth $84 million yesterday, you said, according to you. He never thought of Grand Crew? So you want to tell me this guy, he didn't know where he came from at the time? Really? So it was now that he's president? He's president, so what? I should not ask him question? Oh, you producers want to make me afraid? No, there's nothing about fear here. This man was 84 million worth according to what the people said. His supporters. He could not take one Jack-O-Lantern to Grand Crew? And T-Max need to answer this question. I hope to be with him this morning. Yeah? He could not take one Jack-O-Lantern to Grand Crew. Now he's president and he's just running around here. You prosecuted Brandon Samuka for outside budget or off budget spending, or he spent money because it was not documented. But you running around here, you say you street light and this and that, all the thing. Man. Anyway, folks, let's have a conversation. We have so I've accepted the apology from the Morea City Corporation. Yeah, guys, for me, you guys are not the first people to apologize, by the way. Darius DeLong is the man of the match. He's the man who has done more apologies in this country. So I accept your apology, guys. Then Alpha said it's based on situation beyond his control. Yes, I respect that. Alpha, thank you so much for being remorseful and understanding that. Yeah, Matthias, I didn't do well to your audience. We have 8 minutes to go. Can you join us now? Yeah, join us. Let's have a conversation. 077777107. 07772212223. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, David Harris, my resident.
Go ahead, sir.
Matthias, thank you for all of your analysis on issues. Thank you for uncovering some of the things that we were not aware of. Yeah, really. Thank you very much. You have made my day today. But my thing has to do with our president. And this is a challenge to the presidency. If our president can come out and openly publish his bank account and his assets, 3 years before coming to office and 3 years into office, we Liberians were given a second term, the second term. We'll come out in our numbers to rally around him and elect him for the second term. But if you will not do this, Matthias, thank you this morning.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear from this other person here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Pele. Let's hear you, sir.
Let me first of all appreciate the effort you made in order to acquire such a sensitive information. I think the Liberian we are very proud of that. You know, but there are a lot of questions. Someone's property is not their total asset. So that report did not make available the total. When George Weah became a very active football player up to 2005, was it peaceful that you mean building skyscraper or acquiring those properties in Liberia?
Good point.
Was it peaceful? It was not peaceful. But the country is not becoming peaceful. And it is taking, the point is, this individual we are discussing, being owning property that is tangible property outside of Liberia, and Liberia other people. So if the country is peaceful now, and he's now owning those property or building inside Liberia, I think we should commend him for that. That I think we should be looking at, because for me, no one knows the wealth of George Weah, because it's tangible and intangible as we don't know. They report only cover few of his property. I didn't get a mention about Ghana. They didn't mention about France. In other words, he has property. And we need to look at these things. For me, I don't think George Weah is a criminal that people say he's stealing our country money. Okay, the 16 billion opposite George Weah that when you need to build property, it came out and was proving that France was not missing for that money.
Okay.
So we need to be asking ourselves, if we say George Weah is stealing money, where is he stealing money from? Because we have a budget every year. So where is he stealing this money from? Let's come to the problem with the fast. All of us as Liberians. Because for me, I'm tired of people listening to hearsay, they say, and make up story. And to conclude, we currently have 3 liars brothers. Darrell Dillon at 1, Costello at 2, and my man Martin Colley at 3. We know them and we want evidence this time for them.
My man.
Thank you very much.
Little man. 3 lying brothers. All right, thanks. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Manan Kamara, calling from Rush this morning.
Let's hear you, Mr. Kamara. Go ahead.
Yeah, Matthias, thank you for the topic of discussion. Like what I really want to say, I just want the Liberian people to wake up, honestly. Because sometimes those things you're saying, people don't believe them. But really, that's the reality. Those guys, every day they are enriching themselves. While the country is going backward and the people in the country are suffering, they don't care about them. So Liberians really need to wake up to pray that they want an economic growth to come in the country, that the only way the country will go forward and people will benefit from their taxes that they are paying.
Okay.
Look at the things, look at the properties those guys owning, and look at the condition living of the people in the country, and look at the country. My brother, look at the roads. Who do those guys that are posting their road? What are the roads? Because they are just reaching themselves, brother. And the Liberians, some Liberians, they just stay on the street and say, yeah, but they are not the first people started. So what you want us to do? They continue. So a John Brown sport, so Peter to a Brown sport. My brother, I'm really regretting why I have to be in the country ready, because some things
it's not your choice. My man, move on. Yeah, it's not your choice. You can't choose. You can't even choose your mind and path. That God will choose them for you.
Brother. But what to make it right? That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
Other people are doing it.
Okay,
what
brother.
We can do in Liberia.
Don't get frustrated. Yeah, things will get better someday. Yeah, thank you.
I know. I pray to God and pray that all of you like that thing get better.
Yes,
but
yes.
They should get better soon. Every time we say, no.
Very soon.
We're not getting younger every day, Matthias.
I know.
Our children too are coming up. If we're not fighting now, our children too will suffer the same way we are suffering now.
Thank you so much, my brother. Let's move on. And you know, the reason why I'm saying to you not to really worry too much and think about the fact that where you're regretting being a Liberian is that some such thoughts, you know, psychologically can lead to people taking crazy decisions. You wouldn't. I'm just surprised. A couple of days ago, my uncle informed me that a friend of mine, very quiet fellow who would never bother sharing his personal problem with anyone easily. This guy that 2 years ago is the guy whose name was involved in this thing in West Point. You know, you heard about the Kissy fellow who hung himself for woman business? The guy's my childhood friend. You know, so probably some people may be going through some psychological thing. They don't want to share with people. So I'm just saying to you, brother, with this kind of expression, sometimes it can lead to something else. I'm regretting being a Liberian and all. There's no need for me. I regret nothing being a Liberian. I'm proud to be a Liberian because this is a very historic country. To Mr. Pili, well, my point is not about, you know, whether these reports, you know, just Shikokote or just small things, small screen. There are a lot of things behind. Of course, President Weah has not published his asset. And if you listen to the article I read, that's why I'm quoted RFI, that, well, this whole thing here that we're talking about, we've reached out to the Lands Authority, and the information from the news outlet is saying, yeah, but the authority said it was, well, there's that a conflicting thing. They provided that a conflicting information on how they can access Mr. Weah's, President Weah's, all of his assets here in terms of record. They should have land deeds to ascertain all of the properties he have, and they could not provide that. And that was, I think, is a breach of Freedom of Information Act. Quickly, our motivational message says, as you get older, you begin to understand more and more that life is not about what you look like or what you own. It's about the person you have become. My name is Matthias Labindi.
Can be remarkably accurate. So when did modern weather forecasting begin? And what is the science behind it? I'll be joined by 2 historians and a forecaster, all of them weather experts. So stay with us for the forum here on the BBC World Service with me, Bridget Kendall, after the news.
Whatsoever